Okay, this is day 1 of Unit 9, and this first day is going to be a lot of review stuff of things you already know, but you do want to pay special attention because there are a number of things on here that are like a tiny, tiny bit tricky. So, and if you're not paying attention and being careful, you're going to get those wrong. So these first things I put on here is just some reminders. A dilation can enlarge or reduce the size of the pre-image to create the new image. So if we look at these pictures here, this one, the pre-image is our original one that we're starting with, and the image is our new one. So we're going from this one to this one. So this one is where we're reducing the size, and this one where I go from small to big, this is where I enlarge it. A dilation creates figures that are similar to each other, and similar figures have the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. And we talk about similar figures, most of the time in geometry we're going to be talking about like triangles or squares or something like that. But we can also talk about dilations of just the pictures like this little penguin here. This is probably the one new thing that I'm going to say here at the top. This is the sign for similar. And remember, this is the one for congruent. We've used this one for congruent a lot this year, but this is congruent and this is similar. In similar polygons, corresponding angles are congruent and the corresponding sides are in proportion. To find a missing side length, set up and solve a proportion. Okay, some of this stuff is going to be very much like when we did congruent triangle, so you just need to pay attention. And there are two typos, I'm just going to fix them now. This one right here should be CA. And down here, this one right here should be 60. This is a similarity statement, just like when we had congruent statements. And the letters in this one have to match up with the letters in this one. For instance, A goes with X. Angle B goes with angle Y, and C goes with Z. I can do the same thing with the sides, where AB is this side of this one, and it goes with this side of this one. Remember, when I'm naming this side here, I can call it XY or YX. Both of them mean this side that I marked in orange right there. The order of these letters doesn't actually matter. CA goes with XZ, or ZX, and BC goes with YZ or ZY. Now, I said that to find the length of a missing side, we're going to set up a proportion. So we're just going to start by practicing with some proportions here before we move on to the actual triangles. So these we're going to use cross multiply, and you may have learned another cute little term like butterfly or bat and ball or something when you learned these back probably in elementary school. But basically it's just cross multiply. I multiply 3 times 24. And that's equal to 8 times x. Then I work this out. Then we do 3 times 24 is 72, and 8 times x is 8x. Now this is a little baby algebra problem, so we're going to divide by 8, and we get x equals 9. We're going to repeat this on each one of these. So I went through and finished these. 7 times 25 equals 5 times y. Multiply this on your calculator and get this, then divide by 5 to get 35. Here, when I do it, 5 times 45, and remember, t times t is equal to t squared. 5 times 45 is 225. Then to find just t, I need to take the square root of this side to find that t is 15. Now, the reason we did that is so that we can solve these problems with the triangles. And we said to find the missing side of the triangle, we use proportions. That's why we just practice the proportions here. On each one of these problems, we're going to be setting up proportions. So the first thing we're going to write is a similarity statement. And do notice that I need to match up the letters. So A goes with D because they're both 60s. B goes with E, and C goes with F. Now to set up the proportions, I pick a side from this and a side from this that goes together. For instance, this side, AB, goes with DE. AB goes with DE. So 2 goes with 4, And then I can pick another color to do the other sides with. I need to find x, and this is the side that goes with x, so I'm going to put 4 over x. Setting it up is the tricky part, so you need to spend the most time making sure you set them up right, because really solving is easy. That's 16 equals 2x, x is 8. The next one, I've got two parts here, an x and a y. So to set up my x part, I'm going to have this part goes with this part. Oh, and let's fill in this thing here. J goes with P, K goes with R, L goes with Q. So this part here goes with this part, x over 20. And this part goes with this part. You'll notice that I'm using colors to help me make sure I keep this straight, and I do really recommend that. Using some colors on here will really help you out. Now you just cross multiply to finish solving. And we get x equals 30. You finish solving it on your own on your calculator and make sure you figure out how to get that. So x is 30. Then, to do the other side, I'm going to do still 18 and 12, which I have in orange there. And then I'm going to do my other sides, 21 over y. Cross multiply, get your answer, and y is 14. On problems like this, if it's not really obvious which sides go together, you need to look at the angles. First of all, these three angles in this triangle should add up to 180. So if I add these together and subtract from 180, I can find that that angle is 80. If this is 30, this is 30, and this angle has to be 80. That helps me match up which angles to go together. A goes with D, B goes with E, and C goes with C. It helps me match up the sides that are going to go together too. This side goes with this side. This side goes with this side. And these go together. Once I've identified the sides that go together, now it's easy to set up my two proportions. I'm going to have 2 because I need to find x and y. So I can do 9 over 12. And to find x, I am going to do x over 10. Then I can also do 9 over 12. And I want to find y, so I can do 6 over y. Cross multiply, and we get x is 7.5, and y is 8. Be sure that you actually do these on your calculator and you understand how to get the answers here. Come and ask if you need help. Now this next one, I still want to find the missing numbers on my triangle, the missing angles. Add these together, subtract from 180, and I get that this should be 70. If this is 30, this is 30, and this is 70. T, though, does not go with C like it did here. T goes with A because those are both the 70s. B goes with B, and M goes with C. So this one is set up a little bit different. TB, that's this side here, TB, goes with AB, this side here. BM, that's this one here, BM goes with BC, this side here, and then those outside ones, the vertical ones, go together. Once I've kind of marked my triangle, it's easy to set up my two proportions. 21 goes with 14, and y goes with 10, and then I can still use 21 and 14, and 6 goes with x. Cross multiply to get your answers. X is 4 and y is 15. So notice, especially with the colors, it's kind of easy to notice. This one is almost like it's a reflection, and this one is more like it's a rotation to match up. So you have to be careful that you don't get those mixed up when you set them up.